It's Memorial Day in our nation's capital, and we have an international rugby fair in our hands. As Old Glory takes the field for their second ever match, it comes with a solemn reminder of those who gave their lives in the service of America's armed forces. We're truly lucky to have this opportunity. I'm Preston Thompson with Roland Pratt and Stephen Lewis, and you're about to watch Old Glory DC take on the Under-20 Scotland national team. We've got both squads taking the field right now. So Roland, walk us through a bit of these the heavy hitters on Old Glory DC squad.
Well, I think we have to see how the scrum performs today. So that all begins with the front row. We have two changes there today. Khalid Williams is in, and so is Mo Katz. Mo made a very big impression when he came on in the second half of last week's game, so he'll be definitely looking to continue that momentum going forward. Again, set piece is key, so again we'll be looking at Tyler Barbary, Dakota Worth in the lineouts, and then if they get the opportunity, let's see those really nice wingers, Keena Malafu and Chris Sage, both from Kutztown, who will be on the edge, and hopefully that they will be able to get a few tries on the board today.
Yeah, Malafu was a huge impact last week, and the scrum really settled down in the second half when Mo Katz came in. So let's see if that continuity can continue over to the first half of today's match. Stephen, walk us through some of the Scotland players.
Yeah, so this is the national team of Scotland under 20. This should be the cream of the crop, the best young players in the country. They're attached to clubs and academies, best of strength and conditioning, best nutrition. We're looking forward to seeing some talent all across the board. For me, apparently the back row, number 7, Connor Boyle, and number 6, a very non-Scottish name, Quagga Van Niekerk. I'm looking to see how these guys perform today.
So these players, we talked before the broadcast, they are in full-time training environments. Like you said, they're going for professional contracts in Scotland or elsewhere in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're actually heading to Argentina for the World Rugby Under-20 Championship next week, where they take on New Zealand, South Africa. But, yeah, they're trying to break through. They're looking to get professional contracts in Scotland with either Glasgow Warriors or Edinburgh. So they're playing for places. They're playing for livelihoods. They're playing for contracts. So they're going to perform tonight.
And they have to make a big statement. They are the tourists here on Memorial Day. And they want to come away with a victory. They don't want to come in and look like a soft side playing a bunch of older gentlemen.
Yeah, well, it's men against boys, but that actually might take a different interpretation tonight. It might be the other way around.
As we're setting up to have both national anthems. Got a beautiful setup today.
There they are, the pipes. As an exiled Scotsman, you can't beat that. The bagpipe brings tears to a glass eye.
They're calling you, Stephen.
They know you're here. That's one unique thing about rugby. You have that international aspect. A lot of American sports. You don't get that until the Olympics come.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And on that point, the Olympics, we're going to the Olympics. USA,
yes.
number 1 team in the world, qualified for Tokyo at the London Sevens last weekend.
Congratulations to them. We have one more tournament left, and we can win for the first time ever.
That would be the icing on the cake.
For the playing of the Flower of Scotland, performed this evening by the 2015 North American champion Macmillan Big Band. Please remain standing and join me in welcoming Catholic University of America graduate Megan Bunn for the singing of our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'd say both teams are ready to run through a brick wall at this point. Beautiful renditions of both national anthems. Got the final lineups going on as everyone's leaving the field. Everyone's getting set.
Yeah, Preston, I have to say, I'm rolling a very, very healthy crowd here. First time I've been down this neck of the woods, but certainly some terrific support. A lot of local players on the team obviously has helped that. But a beautiful evening, about 80 degrees, just cooling off a wee bit. But the scene is set.
It's a great nightcap to Memorial Day weekend to end it with this match.
What are we talking here, guys? About 2,000 or 3,000 people, all told.
Oh yeah, we still have people in the in our tailgate area, in the family-friendly area, and in the beer garden, and the stands are about full. This is a very healthy crowd.
Thank you.
It looks like we're almost set here.
We'll have Scotland kicking off to Old Glory. Ross Thompson, number 10.
Yeah, the man in the middle today, refereeing the official, is Lex Weiner from New York, New York. Up-and-coming referee, and he's a man in charge of his craft and going places in the refereeing world.
That's another thing that isn't talked about a whole lot with MLR. It's really bolstering the ranks of referees in America. Derek Summers, we were lucky to have him last week, and I noticed he was doing a couple MLR matches this weekend.
Sure, well, you know, it's a new professional league, so it provides opportunity not just for players, but for coaches, for referees, for commentators, you know, for everybody.
And we're off. A deep kick taken by Kunkel. Pass back to Hardig. Taken to the far side of the field. Coming with our clearance kick. Will it find touch? And it will.
Yeah, good confident start there by Old Glory. Yeah, took the ball deep in their own half, set up a ruck, good clearance kick, decent exit. That'll give them a little bit of confidence in these opening moments.
I think that was Stapleton there, just giving that clearance kick away. Nice to get that confidence factor in, get your first kick.
We have an overthrow. Scotland maintains possession, but fireball. I believe we'll have a knock-on from Old Glory as the ball went back, but considering how the lineouts went last week, not in favor of Old Glory, I'm pretty sure they'll accept that one. Now, as we get to our first scrum, let's see how this looks. What do you expect, Steve?
Yeah, telling moment here. First scrum is always important, both physically in terms of possession, but also psychologically. You know, you want to get a bit of dominance early on and show who's top dog. So
they have got to have been working on that this week, the Old Glory boys. They must have been pretty upset last week with how it went, so let's see if that improves.
We've got a total of 7 changes from last week. And as you mentioned, Dante Lopresti getting down at tight head, and Khaled Williams at loose head. Seem to be faring all right now. 8-man pick. Goes right at Stapleton. He's brought down. Ball is recycled. Skip pass, skips 2 men. Almost breaks the tackle of Kunkel.
Keep going.
Recycled again. Low pass and a knock-on.
A little unforced error there.
They've only made it 3 phases before We'll say the heat got to him. It's still early, but we'll give him one mistake in this humidity.
I believe that's called a mulligan.
Yes, we'll have a mulligan. As we're setting up for our second scrum. Take a look at that.
Yeah, break from the Scottish fullback there, Matt Davidson. Ball gets recycled well. Scrum half just doesn't hit the mark, knocked on, and resulting in the scrum we're about to see.
Let's see what Old Glory can do when it's there, put in. Solid base, much better than last week.
Use it, White!
Josh Brown takes it from the back. Doesn't even have his hat on. Pops it to Hardig, who's corralled out of bounds. It's possible the ball bounced on top of the Scotland player.
We have an option. It was knocking the touch on a scrum or line. Scrum or line out. Scrum?
So I think they're calling it a knock on by the Old Glory player. And
Yes.
It's going to be a Scottish.
So it went out of bounds. They give him the choice of having the line out
Right here, Powers right
or
here.
the scrum. Scotland electing for the scrum. It's a much safer restart for them.
I think already the Old Glory boys can be so much happier with the start just simply by having the set piece organized a little bit better today.
It looked like Sean Hardig wanted to pass the ball out, Steve, but he couldn't get his hands up front enough to get it. So it might have been some improvisation from Brown to go with an 8-man pick there.
Bind. Set.
Nice drive here,
Nice shove.
putting some pressure on them. The ball is out. Wing coming across, finding a gap, brought down by Kunkel.
He's been
Recycled
busy
again,
so far.
still attacking the weak side. And there's a gap. I believe it's brought down by Cool. Forwards crashing it up now. That was Cameron Henderson. Prop finds a gap.
Oof.
Hard to bring the big man down. Wing recycles it. Going to the short side here. Scotland not afraid to use
Step White.
every inch of the field. Jerome Frostwick gets this recycled again.
Yeah, as you say, they're going same way, right? And taking it to the sidelines, using the full width of the
Elbows
field.
down first, not supporting your weight.
Fortunately, a penalty against Old Glory.
Off feet.
Now, it's early in the match. Do you want to go for a statement or do you want to go for points, Steve?
They'll put it in the corner. Most teams these days back their line out, and rolling ball correctly set up is very, very difficult to defend.
If they were to watch the feed last week, they saw that the maul was...
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yes, it was used very well against Old Glory.
This is for you. Right here.
So we got a replay. You can see where the penalty is, not releasing, kind of closing off the ball. Cleaner line out from Scotland this time.
Yeah, good ball off the top.
The maul is on.
Yes, it needs to be patient here, regroup, regather, which they're doing. Seem to be going on the left-hand side, shearing off.
I believe we have advantage already. Ball spins out, Wing getting involved again. Rory McMichael not afraid to get in there and do the dirty work.
Oh, what a
chip
chip.
through. That was
Wow.
a beautiful kick through by Ross Thompson, the fly half.
That was a wonderful little grubber through.
When you have advantage like that, you're allowed to take a chance. So it
that's
obviously worked out for him.
That's absolutely right. You're playing with house money, is the saying, right? You take a few chances and do something you might not entertain otherwise. Here's the replay. Great little left-footed chip through, bounced up nicely. Left winger Jack Blaine was on it. 5 points to Scotland.
Well taken. Very, very well taken. That is a first-class little kick through there.
I mean, only one bounce. You couldn't have timed that better.
Well, a generous bounce, too, straight up into
Yes.
his hands.
So conversion coming from the corner. Left-footed kicker, an unkind angle. Kick is up. And the flags go up as well.
Oh, how good is that? Left-footed kicker from the
Very
touchline.
nice.
Terrific.
Very
Adding the
nice.
extras. Very good stuff there. Confident start. Great kick.
It's that, what you talked about beforehand, they're technically sound, Scotland is. And they're not afraid to show it with both kicks there.
I think you're seeing how important possession is going to be today. So Scotland have had 2 possessions so far, and they scored one of them.
John Stapleton getting us started off. Mo Katz almost brings the man down on the kick.
No, he's away.
And it ends up being a break. The fullback taking it down the sideline. That is Matt Davidson.
Oh, Nick Cool with the intercept. Very well played, Nick.
No, it's grounded. That looks like a grounding. I'm not sure if he's out of bounds. But Matt Davidson taking...
Yeah, a bit of back and
field.
forth there. It's a good foray up the right by the Scots backs. I believe it's held up over the line, though.
Held up.
Yep, that's Lex Weiner coming through on my prediction. And here we go, the replay comes back, actually bounces back into the fullback's hand, and they're scrambling as they both go over the line together.
Thanks.
You think
Unable
you got
to
lucky
touch
for an
it.
interception, and then you ended up bouncing it right back into his hands.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Might also have missed touch there. Anyway, Scotland scrum.
Crouch.
Need to watch this winger,
Bind.
number 11. He'll be lurking around that outside of the fly half, potentially.
He's already inserted into a couple running lines.
He seems to be a strong ball carrier.
Yeah, this close. You wonder if Scotland is going to try and muscle it in with their forwards, but they've been spinning it wide, and they haven't been afraid to go from sideline to sideline, especially on the set piece.
Yeah, no real ascendancy for either side in the scrum thus far, so I take my chances in the backs
Crouch.
on the early running.
Bind. Set.
So the ball goes in.
Stay here, 9. Use it. It's not going.
And again,
Glory not getting driven
yeah,
over.
that-
And it does go to 11 on the crash ball. And 7 dives over. That is Connor Boyle. Dives over on the side of the ruck. No Old Glory players setting that pillar and post.
Yeah, pretty simple stuff there. You've got to, as you say, pillar and post, guard, whatever you want to call it. You've got to have a defensive structure. You've got to be in the right place. The defense is 2 things, right? One is technique, one is shape. Actually, 3 things, and one is desire. So you've got to be in the right place, know how to tackle, and want to make the tackle.
He got pretty low there as well. Even though there's a few defenders in the way, it didn't make any difference. He was so low to the ground.
Correct. Superior body position.
Absolutely.
This is a much easier conversion. And it is good.
Straight over.
So 14-0 with 9 minutes gone. Roland, this is pretty similar to last week, except for Old Glory scored first and then gave up a couple tries unanswered.
Absolutely. They'll be a little bit more upset about the second score, having the kickoff and then allowing the player to just basically run free for 50 or 60 metres. That just can't happen at this level. Again, someone's going to have to put their hand up, take responsibility for that, and see if they can just flush that away now and come back down the field and try and get some points on the board.
John Stapleton getting us started off again. Need to make that up front tackle on the kickoff. That's what led to the break last time.
8-man with
Sage on the hit, taking down Tom Marshall.
Stay here, White.
Scotland still looking for a little bit of consistency in their face play. They haven't had to work for it too hard. Clearance kick might be coming now.
Use
This
it.
ruck is messy. The box kick coming. I believe it's going to stay in. Mo Katz putting his hand up. But Cool taking it and getting hit in the air. I don't think there was anything malicious.
I'm
Probably
not
started
sure.
talking to. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, on first look, we haven't seen a replay. There was contact. I don't believe it was deliberate. It's probably still a yellow under the letter of the law. And yep, Lex Weiner, referee,
I
agrees
see.
with me.
So the 7 turned his back. That's the issue, Steve, right?
Let's have another look at it here. Good box kick, actually. Lots of bodies around the ball.
He
Probably the right decision, a yellow there.
He wasn't going for the ball. Is that
No.
the
He
case?
wasn't going for the ball.
It's dangerous, You're standing right there where a player's coming down, and it's definitely a yellow card.
The onus is on player welfare, right? The onus is on the safety. You've got to be responsible for other people in these situations. If you're not looking, you'll get pinged.
Katz with his first throw in.
That's a bit of a blow to have your open sides go off so early.
Keep the gap, please.
Scotland getting excited, closing the gap. First line out deep in Scotland's territory.
You're right there.
Let's see how they fare with their backs against the wall.
Do we see a Glory maul right now, considering that they have the man advantage?
Ball goes to Iamir, transfer to the back. Katz has it. Katz rolls off, pushing forward, dragging a man with him. Hartig recycles Stapleton.
It's Josh Brown.
With a crash ball to Josh Brown. Switching sides. Hartig recycles again. Katz has it. Katz with the one-handed offload to Dante. Dante's brought down. Hartig quick recycle again.
Yeah.
Try time, Old Glory.
I believe that was Dante.
We've got a replay coming up to show us how that try was set up.
Very nice bit of recycling the ball there, some quick rucks. So Mo Katz is making it there. The hooker's already making a great impact. Dakota Worth there doing what he does best, just putting in some serious work in the breakdown area.
You're correct, that was...
Yeah, again, Sean Hartig there with the lovely pass, and that is Dante Lopresti with the second try of the season.
One-upping his brother.
Absolutely.
Guy in the 7 jersey. But Old Glory taking advantage of Scotland being a man down and getting some points on the board. That didn't happen. A try didn't happen until the second half last week, so they'll be happy to get that offense firing all pistons early.
And those were very nice little phases as well. There was nothing special about that rugby, but it was very well organised. They knew what they set out. They set their little maul. They had the hooker come peel away. He made some good yardage. They set a couple of rucks. Hartig got in there, made the killer pass to a big, strong prop running down from 2 or 3 metres out. Game over.
It was good they didn't panic. As the kick is good, that curve was amazing.
Great kick by Stapleton.
14-7. And it was good for Mo Katz to not panic as that maul seemed to roll before they were ready for it.
Yeah, and Roland, as you mentioned, I think that Mo Katz, the hooker, showing it well twice there in that attacking
well, he was definitely one to watch
phase.
for. And as you know, if he's going well, I think the rest of the team will generally go quite well as well.
As Ross Thompson gets it started off again. We've got a very healthy crowd here. We have 2 more matches for Old Glory in their exhibition schedule next week against the USA South Panthers and the following weekend against the Ontario Blues. You can get those tickets at oldglorydc.com. And you can see the stands. If you want a ticket, you're going to have to get one soon because it could be a sellout. As the dangerous fullback Matt Davidson makes another break, he chips it over. I think the ref is saying play on as the man was brought down.
He's come back for a 22.
Seeking a little bit of attention.
Unfortunately, the kick there from Zach Farrow did not find touch. If you kick it back to the fullback, you're going to get punished these days, so he took it right back down at them.
Yeah, and this Scottish fullback, Davis, has looked quite sharp already. Mm-hmm. He's been involved in 3 or 4 good clean line breaks.
He's definitely one you do not want to be kicking the ball at, that's for sure.
Stapleton, 22 dropout.
A little bit long.
8 takes it, but he's brought down by Khalid very quickly as the ball is recycled. Front row action here as Murphy Walker takes the ball up. Rowan Frostwick recycles. Thompson out to the fullback again. Was that forward?
A little.
Ref says no.
Play on.
Gaining some good ground here. Quick on the run, but met and brought down. Frostwick marshalling the troops around. Cameron Henderson looking for ground. A pop on the inside from the scrum half is dangerous, but Old Glory spotted it quickly. Nice second line run here. Davidson with the ball in his hands. Dummies it. Manages to stay in bounds, finally brought down inside the 5 meter.
Marshaled out.
So if there is a dangerous person on the field, Steve, it's got to be Davidson at fullback.
Yeah, but I think he tried to gild the lily there. I think he should have just given the pass. Let's have another look at it here. He dummy there. Yeah, and died with the ball. But yes, he's certainly been a tricky customer, shall we say.
Yes.
Blue.
Katz wants to make sure of this throw.
White.
We've been having some trouble with the line-out, keeping things spaced out properly.
These were the situations last week that gave them a lot of trouble. You know, exit strategies from inside their own 22. This is going to be a dangerous area.
Katz overthrow.
Barbary's picked it up.
Barbary still picks it up. Old Glory sticking with it. Is going to look to set to reset where they're attacking from. Gets some space before the clearance kick. Stapleton gets it out of bounds. Want to make sure that it absolutely has no chance to have a counterattack happen.
Yeah, I think that was Zach Forrow there who had made the kick previously also, but which one that didn't find touch, so he made sure that time.
Three-step.
Scotland line out close to the Old Glory 22. Looking to maul it.
We're fine. There's going.
Chugging along slowly.
7, stay there. Don't change your mind. It's going sideways. Use it, 9.
Being told to use it. Frostwick gets it out to the inside center. Crashes forward.
Off,
Goes
one,
Grant
leave.
Hughes. Rowan Frostwick having to get into the ruck himself. Most 9s are loath to do that. Can tell from experience. Rowan recycling. Long pass out to Thompson.
Oh,
It's brought down.
there
Leave
was
it,
a
White.
blitzing defense
White,
there from the
leave.
fly half.
Blew up Scotland's plans on that phase of attack. Old Glory really going for the turnover and not
First
getting
10
it
not
that
rolling,
time.
You were fine. 10 wasn't rolling first.
That's a shame, but it was much better line speed there.
That was Kunkel going
10
for
right,
it.
not rolling away.
Called for not rolling away.
Decision time again for the Scots skipper. They've elected to go into the corner and use their line-out maul.
Easy enough decision to make, Stephen.
Well, I'm old school. I like taking the 3. You know, you've got a good kicker. 3, 6, 9, 12. Keep the scoreboard ticking.
I hear you, but just the way the game's going these days, you got to take your scores when they're presented with these good opportunities.
Quick line out to the front pod. Cameron Henderson takes it down. Old Glory pushing them back, not letting Scotland get momentum. But Scotland rolls it perfectly.
Oh.
And Cameron Henderson, that was the 8-man. Tom Marshall burst through the middle, virtually untouched to dot it down. Steve, what could have Old Glory done differently there?
Well, it's very, very difficult to defend a line-up maul when it's set up correctly. I mean, you can either compete at source, you can either try and disrupt the throw, or you have to be balanced in defense. You have to work together very quickly, moving towards touch. That's all you can do.
That's a lot of work at the training ground there. Everybody knew their role right there in order to get that 8-man free. That was a perfectly timed roll, and once the 8-man found clear country, it was, he's just going to be impossible to stop from there.
Now will the kicks go 3 for 3? Ross Thompson shown he's got ice in his veins. The crowd also being respectful as he kicks.
Can you give me another rundown, please?
Kick is up. The flags go up. 21-7
We're going to get a little water break here.
as we head to our first mandated water break. 21-7 after 20 minutes gone. Old Glory taking advantage of the short opportunities that they did have, but Scotland really being the dominant team in this first 20 minutes.
Okay, they're telling you that there's only one team in Scotland. It's spelled wrong right now on the graphic.
And we're going to toss it down to Andrea, our Southern reporter, to talk about the conditions down there on the field.
Hey guys, it was pretty hot today. Fortunately, the sun has started to go down, but the humidity still lingers. The turf is pretty hot. I imagine it's pretty rough conditions out there for the guys trying to run around. They seem like they're holding it together though, so we'll see how it fares out as it keeps getting cooler.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. Last week we noticed how the conditions really played a factor in the last 20 minutes as Shannon RFC fell apart and almost lost the match in the final 5 minutes. We'll see how Scotland can fare with the conditions we got going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely dropped to about 5 or 6 degrees since we've been here. It was pretty toasty this afternoon. Scotland, however, have been here for about 5-6 days, so they should be a little bit acclimatized.
It's comfortable now, I think you would say.
Yeah.
Also, we're seeing throughout MLR, though, how the weather affects all these different games, whether you play in Utah during when it was snowing, whether you play in Texas with that searing heat. You know, Toronto couldn't start their home season until basically the middle of the season because of the winter there. So we're seeing that the weather will definitely be a factor going forward for all of these teams. Everybody has it a little bit different, and this is going to be difficult for teams coming up here or down, wherever you were from, to come to DC, and the humidity is the big key here.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So nighttime kickoffs, right? So, you know, different times and different nights work for different markets. San Diego like to play on a Sunday. Utah won't play on a Sunday for obvious reasons. So these new professional teams have to find their space in the local sporting calendar, both day and hour.
Stapleton getting us started again. A deep kick.
One stay.
And it's immediately cleared.
Just outside the 22 there.
Second time Old Glory's had possession on Scotland's territory. Successfully visited last time, came away with 7 points. Can they capture that lightning and strike one more time? As the ref is giving some direction to provide some space in the lineup.
I wonder if we'll get a little set-piece move here today.
No Cats. Middle jumper off the top.
That's Guy Lopresti.
Cleaned up by Guy. Sean Hardig with the recycle to Stapleton. Crash ball to Foro. Gets it reset. New pivot point. Hartig with the recycle. Stapleton attacking that weak side. Spin pass out to Kina. Almost intercepted. The Flying Hawaiian rescues Old Glory right there. Josh Brown getting met pretty early for that Scotland defense. A quick recycle out to Khalid. Crashes forward.
Lead 7, Rock.
Another recycle. Ball unfortunately went forward there. Extra stuff. Obviously he didn't hear the whistle. The whistle was an American. Showing that he's still tough, but some nice attacking phase play by Old Glory there, Steve, but they just couldn't quite get the ball into hand.
Yeah, accuracy lacking. You know, when you want to string phases together and get some tempo, get some rhythm, you need to be accurate.
The Scots did quite a nice job there when they were able to slow the ball down on the far side. They were able to realign their defence, and they got really good line speed coming up, which pushed the Old Glory boys back about 10-15 metres.
When you're trying to play as quick as the Old Glory was trying to play there, right, accuracy is key. They almost had 2 passes intercepted. To keep driving forward. Advantage here to Scotland. Roan to Thompson. A searching kick. It does find touch, but again, when you're playing with house money, you're going to take advantage or take some chances on a kick like that.
Yep, why not? Chance for fly halves to show off.
If there's one thing a back likes to do, is to show off. Why play the game if you're not going to look good?
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Well, even though it was a 50-50, it was a very nice kick. It was in the right area. They were just unlucky that they couldn't get hands on it. It would have been trouble if they did.
What was interesting about that phase of play, though, was the first scrum for Old Glory that disintegrated. It's the first time we've seen that happen. We're 20 minutes into the game. Is that fitness, is that fatigue, or is it just a one-off? We shall see.
We shall see.
As they say in Donegal.
Callum Renwick with the throw-in for Scotland. Safe money is on them all here, and they do. Ball got into the back. Renwick has it.
Josh,
very close to the line.
Let's get out of there.
Roan chips it over.
Oh, my goodness.
You don't see that too often. And we have a whistle here, another penalty.
Yeah,
I didn't see advantage happen.
It looks like it was another shot to nothing. I think he heard that it was a penalty, so he tried the little chip kick over the top again.
Yeah, it's a little move perfected by George Horn, diminutive scrum half for Glasgow. He's done it a couple of times. His brother Pete, they've scored a couple of tries this year. But you're right. And that's a risky decision, unless he already heard there was a penalty coming.
Might not be used to the shallow try zones. That's one thing that each stadium, each MLR team has different dimensions on their field. All right, Scotland calling for a scrum. They feel like they have an advantage based on what happened last time.
This may well be the biggest scrum of the game. so far. I mean, if Old Glory are to maintain here, this will be good for them. They do not want to get a pushover try here or to create another infraction. Could be talking penalty try.
Last time it was this close, Rory, the 11, McMichael, inserted himself in the line. Steve, do you see them doing something similar, attacking the far side or keeping it weak here?
Well, the first crack, they're probably going to go in the
push
scrum.
over.
Yeah, exactly, based upon that previous scrum. Then if they're held, perhaps they go wide. But I think you're right, Roland. This is a critical scrum. They concede here, a score, floodgates might open.
It's going to get tough, yeah.
Really sets the tone for the rest of the match. Roan rolls the ball in. It's at the back for Tom Marshall.
Yeah, it's that
Looking
second
to get that
effort. It's
drive
looking
on.
good. It's looking
Oh,
good.
it's a big shove.
That's a penalty.
Yep.
Let's see. But keep going, keep going.
Will they
Don't
go
touch
for the
it, son.
penalty
Don't
try?
touch it.
It's a try.
So you called it, Steve.
As predicted. Yep. This could be a taste of things to come.
The initial hit was pretty well received by the Glory boys, but that second push just took away the front row. Immediately the arm went up from the referee, penalty, and they just held the advantage, kept it under the 8-man's foot, and away they went for the try.
Dante and Mo getting stood up right there.
Again, just such good technique. The ability to make that second push. Anybody can give you that first one, but when they can just drop their body angle just a little bit more and give you that second shove, it's very hard to stop.
Again, we have 2 more matches on our exhibition schedule, and you can get tickets for those at oldglorydc.com. Again, look at the stands. We still have people in the tailgate area, in the beer garden. It is packed here. If you want tickets, you have to get them quickly for next weekend against US Rugby South, and the following weekend, June 9th, against the Ontario Blues. As we wait for Ross Thompson's conversion, he's perfect so far and keeps his perfect rating. It is 28-7 with 25 minutes gone.
Yeah, I've been at a few of the MLR grounds over the course of this season, which is the second season of Major League Rugby, and this is in a very, very healthy crowd. If I was the owners, Paul Sheehy, Chris Dunleavy, and actually the Scottish Rugby Union, I'd be very happy with this turnout.
So let's talk about that for a second with the Scottish Rugby Union. This matchup didn't happen by chance. They're now investors in Old Glory. So it's a pretty special partnership and relationship they've got going on here, Steve.
Yes, it is. I believe you'll be talking with Mark Dodson, the CEO, and we'll be talking with Don Mackay, the COO, at halftime and beyond. And they can probably talk about that further. But yes, a unique arrangement with the national team from one of the home unions taking an ownership stake in a fledgling league with a new team. Lots to discuss there.
So last kickoff, Old Glory had a line out in a similar position, and it was maybe 8 to 10 phases later in which that knock-on happened, which led to Scotland's eventual 7 points. Let's see if Old Glory can keep it a little bit more. Sean Hartig off the top, out to Kunkel, now to Foro as he crashes up. Hartig with the quick recycle again. Iamir. You see, this is Dakota going forward. Another penalty against Scotland. So when Old Glory's gotten ball in hand, they've shown that they're not afraid to attack, and they have the skill to do so. It's those small little things that are keeping them back, but they got it together that time and put Scotland under pressure, Steve.
Yeah, so they've elected to kick down to this right-hand side.
Steve, I haven't seen too many Scottish penalties at the breakdown. They're very disciplined.
Yeah, I mean, that's, what do you look, as a coach, what do you look for from a game? You want to keep your penalty count in single figures. I think, is that the first penalty that we conceded? Possibly 1 or 2.
At the breakdown, I think, anyway, yeah. I mean, I've seen them knock on a couple of balls, but that's pretty average.
But you're right, discipline, it's not throwing a punch. It's knowing when to jackal, it's knowing when to go in, when to take a chance, when not to.
Oh, the decision-making.
So we've had several times where the referees had to stop the line out. Teams just getting really close together in that channel.
And getting a little anxious.
Waiting for the line out from Mo Katz. Off the top, I'm not sure that was a miscommunication there. Scrum half expecting a maul. Forwards expecting a ball off the top as Mo Katz runs it up forward, eventually driven back. Quick recycle by Hartig. To the inside center. drags the ball forward. Stapleton gets the ball out to Foro. Cleveland Crusader.
Tackle, out 12.
Old Glory losing some ground here, but still attacking. A switch inside. Cool takes the ball from Stapleton. Sean again. As this ball gets out to Khalid. Sean Hartig takes it.
Good break by Hartig.
Nice run off the side. He wasn't held. Forwards are there in support. Tried to run up the ball. Met pretty hastily by Scotland. Forwards deciding that they want to impose their will. Nice muscle on muscle here as the ball gets spun out wide again. Got another crash ball to Foro.
It's a good series of play for Old Glory here. Stringing some passes together, maintaining possession, being patient.
Really just showing that they can do it, proving it to themselves. As Khalid takes the ball forward. Scotland making a nuisance of the ruck there. Switching the field of attack, Dakota takes the ball again. Hard taking another recycle. Stapleton. There he finds Foro.
Again, very good line speed by the Scots.
We've got to be up here 15th, 16th, 17th phase. This is good
there.
stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, just as you say it.
And then the commentators curse yet again.
Thanks, Steve.
It was an inside job from Scotland, I believe, on that one.
It's all, we're professionals here. We're all neutral in the commentary box.
So it was similar to the last time Old Glory had good possession. They had multiple phases, attacking well. But again, it's when they get to the fringe, they get to that weak side of the field or the far side of the field, and they're trying to make those long passes. It's that accuracy. It's just letting them down a little bit.
Yeah, and a little lack of penetration. We're going side to side and holding the ball, but we're not going through. I was quite impressed by scrum half Hartig in that series of play there. He had a little break himself, but he's starting to look like a useful player.
He's been very calm, hasn't he? And he's getting that ball away quite nicely and crisp.
It's the Old Glory. Solid in the scrum there. Scotland looking to go wide. Giving it to the danger man in the wing, but he knocks it on.
Well, they got it back.
We got some advantage to Old Glory. Let's see what they can do with it on that far side. A rare mistake from Rory McMichael. It's Josh Brown takes it forward. Hartig attacking the weak side. We've got Guy Lopresti on the attack. Dakota running the ball forward.
No advantage, it's good turnover. Scrum.
Going back to that advantage to the knock-on.
Yeah, long advantage there from
That's what
referee Weiner, yeah.
Blue 1 and 3, 1 and 3, off.
So here's the hit that caused the turnover.
Yeah, Scotland moved the ball out well, quite nice at this stage. And boom, that's a good tackle. That's a good tackle from Malafu.
Yeah.
They've finally been keying on that number 11, Rory McMichael, inserting himself into the line. So Vedekina Malafu, good recognition there to shoot up and cause that turnover.
Same standard, please. Same standard, thank you.
Let's see what Old Glory can do with this possession.
They're 11. The Scottish 11 and 15 have had a star turn in this first half.
Crouch.
The Old Glory boys are going to have to figure out a way to stop them getting so much possession.
Set.
Got about 10 minutes left. 28-7 is our score right now.
Both popping up. Both popping up.
Everybody standing up here.
We'll have another reset.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Better timing on the hit, please. Going a little bit early, yeah.
Again, we have an amazing atmosphere here. Just packed stands. We've got a full tailgate section. People can drive up, bring their own food, bring their own drinks, have their own fun. We've got still people in the beer garden on the far side, but the majority of people are here willing their team forward.
Set.
Hardig with the put in. Under Brown's feet. Ball out to Stapleton. Switch on the inside to the flying Hawaiian.
Good.
Just brought down by Scotland. Desperate defense there. Stapleton goes for the crash to Cool.
Leave.
Gonna have to go with the quick recycle. Hartig
Foro.
takes it to Foro.
Tackle now, leave at 15.
Brought down. Josh Brown. Another take for the forwards. Sean with the recycle. Wide ball here. Scotland up, meeting them right when it's caught. That was Guy Lopresti, I believe.
It's Dante.
Dante. As Kunkel takes 2 Scots to bring him down. Khalid Williams drops the ball forward. Scotland looking to make something of it.
Advantage over.
That's back to the danger man. Boots it really far downfield. Gathered by Cool. Not really under pressure. He has time.
White stay.
Will this find touch?
That's a good
And
kick.
it will. But it bounced. Did it bounce straight out, or did he take it from inside his own 22?
It was inside
Oh, I think that's a fair kick.
Yeah, the ref is saying from inside the 22. That was a fantastic kick. But you got to be disappointed if you're Old Glory. You had such great possession and you coughed it up towards the end there, Steve.
Sure.
Use the line as a tunnel, please. Line to tunnel, set.
So we'll have another line out to Scotland on the beautiful Memorial Day in America's capital. Got a whole weekend of festivities culminating in 2 matches here. Another hit from
What
the
a
flying
huge
Hawaiian.
hit.
He is not just dangerous on offense, he's also dangerous on defense.
Yes, he is.
2 turnovers caused by him in the last 5 minutes through defense. As we get a replay of it.
Yeah, here it is again. Scotland moved the ball quite smartly. Closes really well. Late, but really well. Some acceleration into the tackle. That's textbook stuff from the right
Sometimes the
winger.
best timing is late.
Not sure that's how you coach it. Get your first tackle in earlier, even if it is a bit late.
Well, up Barbary.
Oh, wow,
He's
Barbary. Bit of trickery there for Scotland, catching them asleep. Support is there quickly. Josh Brown picking it off the base of the ruck.
They
No
need
Cats
fast
telling him
ball,
to go
they need
down.
Fast ball.
They need fast ball here. Another drive. Scotland quick on defense, not letting them get the better of them on the edges of the ruck there. This is really where it starts to grind out. Josh Brown with the pick, pushing forward.
Just going to try and grind it out.
Hartig says the backs deserve a ball now. As Kunkel takes it, tries to find the gap, but he's brought down by the hips. And
Unlucky.
another turnover there.
They lost it in contact, unfortunately, there. Chris Kunkel's a good, solid player. Played 1 season there. He played the season of pro rugby with the Ohio Aviators. Solid individual, solid rugby player, solid citizen.
So here's the line out. Here's where Barbary caught Scotland sleeping. Let's take a look at this. Takes it.
Number 9.
Scotland thinks he's setting up for a maul. They were unaware that the ball went to the back pot, it looks like.
I think Tyler was thinking he was playing 7s again there for a second. There was nobody there to defend him.
And there's the turnover in the tackle. So again, Old Glory putting the faces together, showing that they have the danger factor. But again, that accuracy and cohesiveness at the end just kind of betraying them.
They've dominated territory for the last 10 minutes, but they've got to get some joy from it, right? They've got to get something out of it.
It'd be nice for them to get a score here going in at halftime.
Indeed.
Yeah, we need to keep the space. Can we have a
Keep the home fans happy and engaged.
Yeah, thank you.
The fans were rewarded last week with those late game heroics where Old Glory almost came back from a 17-point deficit at halftime. But I'm sure that they'll take a much closer first half.
Bind. Set.
We've got Roan with the put in. Being told to use it. Scotland crashes the ball forward. I believe that's Grant Hughes. A penalty.
Unlucky.
Not rolling away. I believe that was on Stapleton. Bailing Scotland out there. They were probably setting up for a clearance kick, going to give the ball right back to Old Glory, but instead, where Old Glory would have gotten a line out right here, it's going to be Scotland's.
Well, that's the thing, right? Don't give them an easy exit. I mean, you just conceded, giving them a kick. They're on the halfway line now. It's their throw-in. You've got to make them work to get out their own end.
We also just talked a couple of minutes ago about how disciplined Scotland were in the rucks, and then we go and make an error right underneath the shadow of their own posts.
We.
Yeah, we, the Old Glory boys. I am one of them.
There you go.
A stolen line out. Mo Katz making himself a hero right there. Josh Brown passing to no one. Stapleton cleaning it up wisely. Now just driving forward. Hartig looking to recycle. Goes out to Guy. Hartig another recycle. To an early sub. I see 23 on that jersey.
I think that's Dakota, though. I think that he may have had a wardrobe malfunction a little earlier.
Okay. Torn jersey. He's too big for his jersey, I guess. Ball went to ground there, but ref says it's backwards.
Yeah, knock-on miss there.
And we'll go with the forward pass
got
here.
him for a forward pass seconds later. So no harm done.
It seems that Sean is recycling the ball very quickly. Would you say it's a little bit before sometimes the Old Glory boys are set and ready to receive it?
No, I mean the onus is on the backs to be ready and willing and able to go. So your scrum half's doing his thing. He's just got to get on with it. People have to react around him.
I think he has to keep the tempo up as well for them to have any chance. If they wait on that ball, that Scottish defensive line has been set all day long, and they have no hope of breaking through if they don't get quick ball.
Roan finding Thompson. Thompson finding Davidson.
Davidson
Davidson finding the sideline and stepping out of bounds. No need to make the tackle when you have the extra defender that is the sideline right there.
Thank goodness we had the sideline. He's had some great breaks today.
So here it is, a nice set piece right here.
It's worked well.
Just barely. I believe one piece of the cleat, one stud touched the sideline.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. An early lift and a late throw there, and it's stolen
in the
by
front.
number 4.
Just a quick offload there.
Ewan Johnson. The ball is turned over again, back to Old Glory. The pressure is not done, though, as Stapleton boots it. Pretty decent kick.
Incoming.
Kicked it right toward the food tent. You're not going to make any friends doing that. But it was a necessary clearance kick.
It was indeed. Yeah, closing seconds of the first half here. Old Glory looking to get into the sheds with the deficit as it is, 28-7 to Scotland. Perhaps one more bite at the cherry for the Scotland under-20s.
The danger man.
Kouaga, was it?
Rory McMichael taking it up.
Advantage not rolling.
Advantage not rolling
there he goes
away.
again.
Another big hit by the Flying Hawaiian, but we had advantage already. Clean hit. Not rolling away again on Stapleton.
Yep.
And a quick tap by the Scottish 13, Cammie Anderson, trying to catch Old Glory asleep. But that ruck was wide open.
Leave it!
And rightfully taken by DC. Scotland on the back foot. Have to set themselves again. Getting held up. That's exactly what Old Glory would like to do right now. Tackle made, says the sir. Roan with the recycle. Out to Henderson. Henderson's brought down by a gang of Old Glory boys. Thompson finds Davidson again. Davidson to Rory.
Good double
Rory's
tackle.
brought down. The urgency on defense is really high right now. The highest it's been for Old Glory. As
yeah, they just
most
want to hold
likely
him
the
out
last
here.
play.
Got to hold him out.
And there is one Scottish player down and receiving
here
attention.
comes Keena again.
Flying Hawaiian. But we've got another penalty offsides. They catch someone in the back line creeping up. Now, with this being the last play, do you say let's go for points, Steve, or do you again go for your advantage and try and get that mauling try?
Given the nature of the game, it's an exhibition game. You probably go for the line out and you just want to get reps, right? You want to get practice. I mean, there's no point taking the 3. This isn't a European Cup final.
Completely agree.
With a man down rolling, does that change how you might go forward, though?
It depends. They may well enter just shortening the line out, and I'm sure they have several plays up their sleeve. Where they have a man down. Again, much easier if they have the ball.
Taking a short break.
I think we can be quite happy with Keena's performance in the second half or in this first half. He's starting to worry a few of those backline players with those big hits. That's the third time now he's come running up out of the defensive line to absolutely shatter a couple of Scottish shoulders. So we have the penalty here, and it's going back in the corner.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's already becoming something of a hometown hero. Mm-hmm. He's clearly the one guy with a bit of zip and a bit of panache.
He got his try last week as well, and he's been doing things very, very well.
Yeah, and as you say, on the defensive side of the ball too. That's 2-3 good hits.
One more line out for half here to Scotland. Taken cleanly by Cameron. The drive is on. Old Glory still having to make sure that they watch the fringes, but it does not matter as Callum Renwick dives over for the try, putting Scotland over the 30-point mark.
Yeah, it was set up nicely, and then the hooker Rennick just peeled off quickly, quite sharp, and finished it up 33 with the kick to come.
It was just my southern accent that was messing the name up.
No worries. These foreign names.
See, look at Keenan Malafu's hit right there. You know, usually he's the danger man on offense, and you know that's why Old Glory's really looking for him to be that impact player there, but showing that he has something to say on both sides of the ball.
It's always very difficult to defend those rolling mauls because if your forwards are in and you have a big forward peeling off the base, who is going to make the tackle? You need to have a defender there, generally a 12 or a backline player who has the body size to be able to stop one of these big guys coming through. And right now, it's just not working.
Ross Thompson looking to maintain 100% on his kicks, and he does. Straight A's in the first half for fly half Ross Thompson, as the halftime score is 35-7. Scotland is up. And we're going to go to a short break. Then we'll be joined by Mark Dodson, the CEO of the Under-20 Scotland national team.
Working at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and this area called Ginza, so which is center of Tokyo.
Hey everybody, it is 2019, and in 2018, Next Level Rugby was all over the country and the world, bringing you coverage of our sport up close and personal. It all started in Denver, then headed out to Vegas, and then next thing you know, we're in New York City, Japan, Austin, Texas, and a bunch of other places all across the country. But we would really like to thank the players, our fans, and most importantly, our partners that are helping to drive the growth of American rugby here in the United States and beyond. So let's just take a look at some of the shots that, we really loved and fell in love with, and, what made 2018 a special year is going to make 2019 even better. We're looking forward to what 2019 brings, and stay tuned. And remember, every day is a rugby day.
Welcome back. It's a beautiful Memorial Day here in Washington, D.C. I am joined by Mark Dodson, the CEO of the Scottish Rugby Union. I misidentified you earlier as the CEO of the U20 team here, but no, you're CEO over the whole dang union here. So thank you for joining me.
No problem, Preston. No problem.
So before we get into the partnership between Old Glory and the Scottish Rugby Union, talk to me about the atmosphere here. You've obviously been to America before to see a rugby match, but what do you think of Major League Rugby so far?
No, we've studied this market quite extensively over the last 2 years, and to see this amazing night. We've got a beautiful night anyway.
Yes.
But you look at the crowd turning out. You've got the tailgate. You've got the beer lines over there. You've got the kids zones, and then you've got this going on. It's all amazing, and then the rugby quality of rugby is really good as well. A great hit out for our under-20s before they go to Argentina.
So you said you studied the culture here extensively. What brought you to DC? What brought you to America and MLR?
Well, I think there's two things. One is everybody knows that when rugby will break in America, it's going to be big.
Yes.
And I think it's just a case of when it breaks and how it breaks. We've been studying this market, I say, for a long time, and we came across Paul Shear a while ago when we were talking about a wider Pro 14 piece. When we actually started looking at the area here in DC, it's basic, it's wealth, it's stability. Also, if you look at the sporting centrality of it as well, it kind of made a huge amount of sense for us, and we believed that we could with the guys here in Old Glory make a big difference, and so we took the opportunity to work with them and create a partnership which we believe is in the long-term interest of Scottish rugby, but also the MLR as well.
And I completely agree. So let's talk about that. What do you think the Scottish Rugby Union will get out of this, and what will Old Glory get out of this? You can do short-term and long-term.
Well, I think it's a symbiotic relationship. I think we'll both get lots out of this. From our point of view, we can supply administrators, coaches, we can know-how. We've got a vast amount of experience across the piece here, players coming through as well. But also, from our point of view, you're a bridgehead into America for Scottish rugby, and
yes.
we believe in the long term this is going to be not only an incredible sport for America, but also for Scottish rugby. It allows us to globally promote the Thistle, and what we're doing here, and our ambitions are not just based in Scotland. There's only 5 million people in Scotland, and this is a big market.
Oh, of course, and it is a fantastic partnership. We're really excited. I mean, obviously, this match right here, this is sort of the first, I guess, physical representation of that partnership.
Yeah.
So what do you make of the spectacle that you're seeing on the field so far?
Well, I think it's really interesting. I think technically we're more precise, and I think we're better drilled at the moment, and so you've seen quite a lot of tries scored off the scrum and off the set piece. I've been really impressed with the physicality of Old Glory. I've been impressed with the ability to throw the ball about. I think your nine's pretty creative, and you're certainly running good shape. So it's a test for us before we go out. I made it quite clear to the coaches here that before we came out, this isn't an exhibition game. This is part of us going out to Argentina to win. So I wanted a competitive game, and that's what they're delivering. And I think it's been great for you in the next combined games that are coming up.
Yeah, it's a fantastic warm-up for the Old Glory boys here
Yes.
in their exhibition season, but obviously for the U20 Scotland team heading into Argentina. Is it the Junior World Championship, I believe?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So it's looking for big results there, as our Old Glory.
We have to perform at that. There's a big test for our boys. It's when they play the best under 20 players in the planet, so they're going to go out there and be prepared. And this is an ideal hit out for them.
All right, well, thank you for joining me, Mark. Really excited for not just this match, but the partnership with the Scottish Rugby Union. This really is a big deal, and from everyone here, we really appreciate the belief that you have in the American game.
We're super excited, and we want this to be a long-term relationship.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers, Preston.
Hey guys, I'm here on the sidelines of the Old Glory game with the Scottish Rugby Union's Chief Operating Officer, Dom Mackay. Dom, we know this game is a warm-up for the U20 World Cup out in Argentina. What do you think of the competition so far today?
Well, I think it's an incredible game. We've really enjoyed the first half so far, and what I've been blown away about is the atmosphere here. The facility is amazing. The over 2,000 crushed into the stands here. Lots of people having a great time with tailgating, so it's blown us away in terms of the quality of the game, but more importantly, the quality of the event.
That's great. From a Scottish Rugby Union's perspective, what is it about DC and the MLR that attracted you?
Well, we think rugby is globalizing all over the world right now, and the fact that America is beginning to fall in love, we think, with rugby is really exciting. So from a Scottish point of view, we wanted to partner with Old Glory to help them from a rugby point of view, but also help them from a rugby off-field perspective as well, commercially. So we're really excited about the growth of rugby in America, and if we can assist in a little way, we're excited about making that happen for sure.
How do you think this partnership can help to grow rugby in the area and around the country?
Well, what we're really pleased about is that Old Glory's got a plan for developing rugby in the wider DC area. Paul and Chris are really passionate rugby guys and want to make sure that rugby's embedded in DC, and we want to help them do that. So the more schools and clubs that are playing will feed into this sort of team here, and hopefully the stars of the American team will be coming from Old Glory in the years to come.
That's great. Thank you, Dom. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we return, we're going to show some highlights from the first half. Stay tuned.
Through local sponsorships, Tradeview Markets is committed to helping the sport of rugby grow. Investing in local amateur rugby teams around the world allows Tradeview to make a positive impact in the team's community and provide support where it is really needed, rather than advertising with professional teams that don't need the money. Rugby has played a huge role in Tradeview's phenomenal success. Many of our staff play or coach rugby, and we recognize the positive influence the sport has had in their lives. This is our way of giving back to the sport. Our goal is to put a Try Tradeview logo on every top local rugby team jersey in the world.
And we're back at Cardinal Stadium at Catholic University here in Washington, D.C. on this Memorial Day weekend. We're very thankful to be here. We're very thankful for the ultimate sacrifice that so many service members have given over the years to put us where we're at. We truly are lucky to be here watching this rugby match between Old Glory and Scotland. So let's dive right into that action. Steve, what did you see in the first half from Scotland that led them to run out 35 points?
Yeah, I think what we expected to see, right, which was technical competence, which was a group of young men who are fit, who are motivated and know what they're doing. So they're probably good value for their money in terms of 35. Perhaps not. Old Glory perhaps deserved another score, I would have thought, but 35-7 kind of reflects the accuracy of the rugby and the territorial dominance, and actually the clinical finishing is probably the real difference.
Well said. Well said.
Roland, what have you seen from Old Glory that led them to get a try on the board, but also led them to have 3 to 4 opportunities close to the red zone, left them wanting?
I think you're seeing quite a bit more patience today. They're letting the game come to them a little bit more. Now, we have to be honest with ourselves. There's a clear difference in, class, let's be honest, between the two teams. You have one from a Division 1 playing nation, the cream of the under-20 crop from that country, against, all these younger or less rugby-educated players that are on the Old Glory side. But that, I think that they're doing very, very well with that. The scrum is, I'm quite happy with. They were destroyed in the scrum last week, and this week they've had their issues, but for the most part, they solved it quite a bit. Sean Hartig has been quite good. They're 9 again, and just steadying the ship a little bit. Keena Malafu has been making some huge hits coming up from the wing, and he's really starting to shake the confidence in the Scottish players in the back line there. They're expecting him to come up now, and he laid waste to the Scottish fullback once or twice there. But again, the Scottish team, as Stephen just said, it's clinical. You give them one opportunity, they're going to take it to the house, and as every good international side should. When you give these teams so much space, or you miss one player assignment, they see it, they take advantage of it, and that's how good teams win.
All right, so I'm going to ask both of you the different questions. Steve, I'm going to ask you, what does Old Glory have to do to get back into the match? Roland, I'm going to ask you, what does Scotland have to do to make sure that doesn't happen? So, Steve, you first. What's Old Glory have to do to maybe not get back to win this, but to get that scoreline closer?
They're going to have to dig deep. They're going to have to dig deep in the start of the second half. They've got to make the tackle stick. They can't give them anything, and they've got to be opportunistic. They'll get some moments. If they get something in the first 5 minutes, that's what they need. A little fillip, a little tonic, something, a little inspiration. That's what they're looking for here.
And I think this is going to be a very important second half for the Scottish side, because they're going to ring the changes. They'll have a lot of subs in. Coach Hogg, their head coach, is definitely going to look for that impact off the bench. These players that are coming in are going to put their hands up for the start for the World Cup. So they're going to want to really, really kick on here in the second half and say, hey, I deserve that starting jersey. So let's see what happens.
And as Stapleton gets us kicked off, I already see 3 numbers on the Scottish side that have changed out. Robbie McCallum is in, as is Jack Hill, and I think that Ollie Smith is in as well, as Roan searches for someone to clear this ball. Scotland's starting to... No, they're going to go for the clearance kick instead. That's 24, Nathan Chamberlain. And it does find touch near midfield. We have our line out to Old Glory. Jolly throwing the ball in. This is a sub in the front row. I believe he's in from Mo Katz. Clean ball taken by Tyler. Out to Stapleton. Wide ball. Getting out to the flying Hawaiian. The Maui Monster goes right into contact. Brought down near the sideline. Hartig recycles. Slow ball out to Josh Brown. He plods forward.
Plods. His mother won't like that.
Forwards run very ploddingly.
It was a pretty effective plod.
It was. He fell forward. Stapleton gets us recycled again. More quick ball from Hartig.
Tell you, Roland, you've talked about it before, but that line speed's pretty good there.
Absolutely.
Guy looking for
very well
ball fix there.
And there it
penalty
is.
To Scotland. So, Steve, tell us about these coaches, now that we've got a minute to delve into that.
Sure. Scotland under-20 are coached by Carl Hogg, born in Gala. He's a border guy, played for Melrose, played for Scotland. I think he got about 5 caps. From a coaching perspective, he was head coach of Worcester Warriors in the Premiership, and he's just taken up a post with the Ospreys in Pro 14 as a forwards coach for next season. So he knows his stuff.
It's a great pedigree.
Great pedigree. 1-year assignment with these guys, so he's fully committed to taking them down to Argentina. Then he moves on again to the Ospreys in Wales. Rather him than me.
No, Steve.
Another sub, Murray Scott on at 9. Dancing there in the midfield is Robbie McCallum.
Yeah, for Old Glory, they have Andrew Douglas as a Kiwi. He's a Waikato man. He's their coach for this exhibition season. Had a quick chat with him earlier.
Beautiful turnover.
And obviously we're looking for his expertise to help this franchise establish themselves.
Kick is charged
down. It could be just a simple gimme here, and it is.
That looked like Ollie Smith.
Johnny on the spot. He might have hurt himself doing that, but it was a charge down kick.
It was Jack Hill on the charge down. One-handed charge down. Did he dive on the ball wrong? I wonder what happened.
I think he might be just winded.
Yeah, he's definitely in a little bit of pain.
Well, hopefully he's not winded because it just came on.
No, winded from the ball.
Yeah, here it is here. Yeah, touchdown. There he was.
Oh.
Yeah, that's solar plexus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bottom part of the stomach. We've all been there.
It's just awkward.
That's not how they taught you to do it in practice. But again, it's something that happened to Old Glory last weekend in the first half. Just miscues like that leading to a try. It's not so much something that Scotland did. It's just something that Old Glory didn't do, and that was get a high clearance kick out there.
We've talked about it time and again. Just the smallest mistakes get punished so much at the highest levels of the game. You just have to be so clean with all the small things that you do.
So 3.5 minutes off the clock. The score moves to 42-7. Not what Old Glory wanted to start the second half here. But again, like Steve said, they're going to have to dig deep to get this score to be more respectable towards the closing minutes as Stapleton gets us started one more time.
Yeah, it's not the start they wanted, but it's a good high kick. Kick chase is okay, not putting pressure on the catcher.
It's 27, Ollie Smith making a couple men miss. Recycle coming. The big man there,
That's
Ewan Johnson.
Spent a lot of time
little
in.
knocked forward. That was Guy Lepresti who came in there with the tackle, and the big second row just spilled it forward slightly, but it still counts.
Yeah, I think he grew up in France. He's affiliated with the Racing Club, famous Racing Club. But as you say, that one just nudged forward a wee bit.
He's a big boy.
He's one of the only players, I believe, who's not in the UK playing right now. You said he was at Ross in 92.
I think we have Van Neerkerk with the Lions in South Africa,
okay, yes.
and he would, everybody else, I believe, is.
The Spanish
Oh
club?
yeah, they have one
more.
kid from Madrid. Yeah.
Yep. Spain, a country you have to watch out for in 7s and 15s. They're making some great progress.
It's lovely seeing these other countries coming in to the game. You see the Germans are playing.
Ireland.
Yeah.
The Irish are knocking here,
I'm
but
joking,
you
I'm
know.
joking. No, actually, Ireland in 7.
In sevens,
Come a
yeah.
long
They
way.
qualified.
Sure
didn't they?
have.
Now they're taking it seriously. Yeah, they performed well. Had a good outing at the London Sevens there.
Hopefully they'll get core status sorted soon. And
What do they have?
Yeah,
they're in next year.
achieved it in Hong Kong.
Yep.
As we have a heartache put in here with Old Glory, we've got Cool and the Flying Hawaiian here on the close side. Rest of the backs out wide. Let's see what Josh Brown. Ball is out.
Oh, well done, Hardy.
Decision was made for him. Kinda cleans it up. Swallowed by 3 Scottish men in there. Old Glory taken down quickly again. Quick recycle. Stapleton moving the ball wide. Attacking that far side.
Oh,
and there's some
Sage.
space there. There's Sage. Kutztown man making his presence felt. That ball was brought into the try zone.
That's dangerous.
Makes 2 men miss. And then finds touch with a clearing kick.
Ooh, well cleaned up.
Sage, the danger man there from Kutztown, finally getting some space there to work. The backs haven't had too much room to show off their skill.
Absolutely. It was good that he was able to turn the defender as well with that little chip kick over the top. Just landed right at the right spot. I thought that the Scottish defender was just going to touch it down for a 22, which I think would have been the smart thing to do.
I think it was carried in.
Oh, was it
So
carried in?
he
Oh,
didn't have
okay.
that choice.
Borderline right on the line. There was a
Yeah.
tricky choice. He actually had to play.
Yeah, and he had to play. He did well.
Jolly with the throw in. Taken cleanly by Hartig. Josh Brown leading that forward pod. The Scottish number 8 felt the brunt of that hit. He's down. Stapleton, ball fake, and he falls forward.
Step.
Support is there.
8.
Old Glory
8
getting
step.
reset again at midfield. Attacking the far side. Cool. Offloads to impact sub.
All back.
Ball is dropped backwards. Jolly cleans it up out of Bethel College. But it's turned over quickly by Scotland. Support wasn't there in time.
Yeah, good steal from the Scots there.
And it leads to another penalty.
That's what it's all about when you're defending, right? You make your tackles, and you've got to wait and pick a moment when the ball carrier is perhaps isolated or the supporting player looks a little weak.
Yeah,
Maybe got a
body
physical
position.
mismatch or body position is a little
Yeah.
high. You're absolutely right.
So if the turnover wasn't enough, it's immediately turned into a penalty off of that, giving Scotland a perfect opportunity to drive the ball deep into Old Glory's territory for another attacking maul. If you're interested in representing your favorite team, Old Glory DC, go to worldrugbyshop.com for all of your Old Glory gear. If you want to look as fly as the people in the field right now, and us in the booth,
we're looking good, aren't we?
We are looking good. It's because we're in that Old Glory gear.
Roland particularly.
Fire, I believe, is what the kids say these days.
I'm getting a lot of compliments on this training top. It really is a nice kit.
And fuego, as we Spanish-speaking Scotsmen say.
And we're not at the 20-minute mark, so I wonder what this break is for. I don't see a player on a knee.
The one player getting attention there in the Scottish backfield.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was the number 8. That was 8-on-8 action. Tom Marshall tried to take down Josh Brown on his own.
Josh got the better of him there in that particular engagement.
Luckily, it's not a head, it's just a shoulder.
Yeah, who needs a shoulder?
Yeah, no one.
Mere flesh wound.
Mere flesh wound.
Stand in or off?
Number 8, Tom Marshall, appears to be okay. Will remain in the match.
Yeah, he's fine. We wanted some water. That's all.
Stand back on.
As we go with the Scottish throw. Good throw taken down. 25 crashing forward there.
Tackle!
Robbie McCallum. Number 6 dropping the ball forward. Old Glory gets an advantage here. Very athletic front row. Looked like the front row. Runs like it. .23 breaking some tackles. Finally getting brought down. And earning a penalty for Old Glory. Stapleton wants to take it quickly, but he can't. He was behind the mark. And the coaches are probably happy that he was behind the mark on that quick tap.
Yeah, I'm a coach these days, but even a coach or player, that's probably the one thing referee do that really irritates you.
It's the worst.
You want to take a quick tap, you want to get some reward for the penalty you've earned, and you're brought back for, 1 yard here, 2 yards there.
But I think you'll agree, Stephen, I think it's a little bit the onus is sometimes on the player also, that he needs to get the attention of the referee before, he's running and taking that.
So Old Glory in the first half had plenty of opportunities to attack in Scotland's territory. But another one leaves them wanting as that is turned over in the line-out. Clean steal. Let's see what Scotland can do with this.
10, leave!
Yeah, they'll probably give it a crack for 2 or 3 and then put the kick in. Well, only one.
Kick comes early. Nathan Chamberlain. He heard you. He wanted to prove you wrong. Cool. Taking it cleanly. Offloads to Sage. Sage gets a high kick. Malafu chasing it with him. Scotland's cool under pressure. Getting their line reset. But the defensive line is set as well. As Old Glory runs up to meet them. Recycle from Murray Scott. Ball going out wide. Another sticking tackle. That's Kunkel on the contact there. Scotland relentless. Continuing to push. And earning another penalty. So again, Old Glory with plenty of opportunities to attack in Scotland's territory. They just can't make the most of it, either with turnovers or by penalty.
It looks like Colin Borelka there that was infringing, and possibly Mason McElvey, I think, is on as well. So the two of those were at the breakdown. They just got to be cleaner. They're giving away too many penalties at the breakdown in areas where that just can't happen.
Our favorite sponsor here for Old Glory DC is none other than Cuisine Solutions. Their sous vide food goes to some of the best hotels, restaurants, and airlines in the world. And we've been devouring it pre-game and at halftime. It truly is delicious.
Yeah, that polenta's pretty good, I have to say.
And they have that Old Glory sandwich. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not sure if I'm allowed, as I'm a back, if I'm allowed to have that sandwich.
You are what you eat.
I need to talk to my doctor before I get to that, but it is amazing.
I actually said that they should have it in forwards and back sizes because I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to finish that sucker.
I think it's mandatory eating for Old Glory players. As their defense pays off, they get a turnover. Get the crowd cheering in there. Scotland getting a little chippy. Not content with the lead. Want to be patronizing as well.
It was in the touch directly. Josh, you want to scrum or line out? Scrum.
Old Glory gets the choice, wisely going for the scrum. I believe the entire front row is new this half. Colin Barelka, Chase Jolly, and I believe Sam Morris.
That is Sam, yeah.
Right, so it's a whole new contest, right? We need to watch afresh, see who's got what.
I think it's a fresh Scottish front as well, is it?
Bind.
Scrum action part 2.
Number 17, Chase Jolly, is a young player. He's a high school All-American, plays at Bethel College. Actually played football and rugby in high school as well. But again, this Old Glory side is littered with American talent. You know, Chase Jolly was he's man of the match at the U20 rugby championship, a U19 rugby championship for USA Rugby. Lots of All-Americans here, so this is some great Mid-Atlantic talent representing their region.
Would you believe it? Sam Morris has actually also played high-level touch rugby, and he's a prop. Yeah.
Bind. Set.
Reed on at scrum half as well. He played professionally with San Francisco Rush in the ill-fated Pro League. Josh Brown running after some teenagers, showing him that he's still the boss. Reed looking at the referee, saying that Scotland was killing it. He saw it differently. Looked like a clean turnover to me. I did not see a ruck set.
Did he release, though? You have to take a quick look at that. It looked quite tight.
Scotland will go for touch here. It's a deep kick.
It's a good touch.
Yeah, very good one. Very good.
So here we have the replay. Josh Brown takes 3 men to bring him down. The support.
There's no support. He's on his own. He's isolated.
Yeah.
And that's the danger.
One man couldn't ruck off 3. That's not his fault.
Again, great decisions from the Scotsmen, though. You know, they saw where he was isolated, and they just rushed in, turned the ball over.
Let's see if Old Glory can shore up their maul defense. Not letting the drive go on here. But that wasn't the problem last time. Last time it was when it was rolling.
Entry.
And we have advantage for side entry. But will it matter? Scotland might touch it down without having to go back. That looks held up.
Good advantage.
So Old Glory not really finding an answer for that rolling maul. At least they were able to get a body or something underneath that ball there. We got it held up, so we'll see what they decide to do here.
I believe I see a trainer on the field. Can't tell if someone else is getting attention. No, he's exiting now.
Captain.
Let's listen into this quick conversation.
Yeah, they're getting the option again. I think they're going for the line out again.
Well, it's been firing pretty well for them today.
Yeah,
so
they can just nudge a touch closer to the Old Glory line. Smaller distance to pay dirt this time.
Callum Rennick is still in. Not wanting to get subbed out. And he takes the roll.
He's got the ball. This is looking promising for Scotland.
Now it's at the back. The big number 8. Driving forward.
He has a load.
Tom Marshall. Again, another penalty.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what we have here.
I heard that second whistle. It's never good.
Number 22 for the second one. First one was
7.
Yeah,
persistent infringement. So it's a situation where they do the same thing again and again and again. It's not just a penalty. There may be further sanction, usually in the form of a yellow card. He's just warned them this time. Next time up, it will be the cheese.
And if you are Scotland, you have no reason to do anything other than what you've been doing. Again, Callan with a throw in.
Same again into the middle, setting up the maul.
Taken cleanly. They roll off early. 21 going for the Glory. Jack Hill.
Behind the line!
No advantage finally off of the line out for Old Glory.
It's Mike Fletcher in with the tackle there.
But will they go wide? Old Glory sticking tough on defense. Not letting the ball get in there. You have to watch the fringes now.
Oh.
On penalty. Offsides.
There has to be a yellow card now
Yep.
in my book.
Couldn't tell live, but it looked like he might have reached across and hit the ball out of the scrum half's hands.
Yeah, I think the referee's seen enough here.
All right, let's see what this conversation is.
Play me 9 offside, cynical play. Thank you.
Offsides?
Yeah.
All right, so John Sage will sit down for 10 minutes. As Lex tells him, you are playing the man offsides.
Cynical play was the phrase from Lex Weiner there. I think he was quite correct. Scotland opting for the scrum this time. It's centre field. The great beauty of this is an attacking position. You can go either way. You've also got a lot of players concentrated in one, the 16 forwards there, lots of space for everyone else.
All right, here's the replay. I think he might have called the wrong man.
Might have got the wrong man.
Yeah, that looked like 16, the front row sub, diving over. That was Colin Barelka.
Right, Scots are split here, 3 backs left, 3 backs right.
And that's where the advantage is. Old Glory's down Ryan Sage, their number 14.
He's going to feel a little aggrieved.
All good, boys.
But such is life.
But when you're scrumming down, you might prefer to have your prop in there.
That's for sure. I'm not sure Sage could save them here.
Astute observation there.
Bind. Set.
Awaiting Murray Scott's roll in. See Reed, the scrum half, neglecting
he's over it.
The scrum, getting in that defensive line to take up Sage's place. Right on the goal line is Scotland. This is where you're going to get some of the biggest hits, biggest bodies crashing into each other.
Yeah, he's in there.
And he falls right over. That is Will Hurd.
They did so well at taking away the
stopped.
threat earlier in the ruck before. He was a little bit isolated, the 8-man coming off, but his support got there and cleaned out that ruck beautifully.
Will Hurd just falling over the line.
Well, this is the thing for the Old Glory, right? So you can set up your defensive shape. You can defend 1, you put the tackles in, throw the bodies at it. You can defend 2. Can you defend 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? You just eventually get worn down. You run out of bodies.
And the Scottish, they're so patient. That the ball is at the back of the ruck. They wait for their support, pick the ball, drive through that area. They have guys right on their shoulders. I mean, it's lovely to watch. You have to be honest. It's it's very, very good rugby.
Murray Scott with the conversion there, and it was good. 49-7 is the score. Scotland not missing a single conversion, even from some difficult angles. As we await Singleton's restart. Deep kick, not much pressure. Scotland taking it calmly and booting the ball back out from their own end. So we've been here before. We've seen Old Glory attacking from here, but can they put 5, 6, 7 phases together consistently without committing a turnover or a penalty here? And now we will get to our mandatory water break.
I think even more importantly is if we can get 5 or 6 phases but be able to create something from those phases. I think the Old Glory guys have had 6 and 7 and 8 phases and more, but they haven't been able to really puncture that defensive line by the Scottish team. Again, it's a really good marshalling. Whoever is their defensive coach has been clearly putting in quite a lot of work with them, and the Glory guys, they don't really have the answers right now. Hopefully we'll see them find the key here in the last 20.
Steve, what did you see in the first 20?
Well, Scotland's still in very much in command of the game. We didn't get that little spark of inspiration from DC, whether it's a Malafu tackle or a break or an interception. And we are where we are. It's 49-7, Scotland under 20s over Old Glory.
And we have Andrea on the sideline for the report.
Yeah, the crowd here has really woken up after halftime. I think after the sun went down, everybody started to feel their energy. But the crowd is really electric. They're helping to bring Old Glory into the last 80 minutes. And they're really exciting here.
Take the line, Old.
Yeah, so just like last week, the crowd stayed here till the very end, regardless of the score. And they were rewarded, well, almost with the comeback. Again, Old Glory fans here not giving up, just like their team. And they're going to be here till the end. A wide ball here from Old Glory finds its way to the outside center 4-0. Stapleton again taking it on his own. Turnover taken over in the tackle by Scotland. Ripped it before he went to ground. Therefore, it was legal. And the hooker dancing through the Old Glory defense.
Looks like we have a change at fullback as well for Old Glory. Looks like Blake Carroll is in.
And we've got a block down.
Oh,
this is that Mike Fletcher, the journeyman, 39 years old, and he can still make some athletic plays. Blowing the ruck up is Old Glory.
Yeah, good counter ruck, but they didn't take advantage. Forgot the ball.
John Brown and Keena tag teaming that tackle. Scotland with an offload in contact, another offload in contact. That's 20, Ross Bundy with the break. Now it's the offload to Nathan Chamberlain dancing through. Another penalty to Scotland. Old Glory seems to be their own worst enemy here in this first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff are going to be a little bit disappointed at the, they're just giving away far too many penalties at the breakdown. Last week we said, they need to fix the scrum and the line out, and I think for the most part they've done that. This week I think they're going to have to fix the breakdown.
Yeah, as I mentioned before the game, there were 7 total changes to the starting lineup. Only one of those players made their way to the reserves. The others were dropped completely. So this is, with the reserves, this is ultimately almost a brand new squad than what we saw last week. Old Glory's still really trying to find what works best, giving everyone an opportunity to prove themselves.
Again, it's an exhibition season.
This exhibition taken off the top from Scotland. Attacking wide, the far side of the field. Another great shoot up on defense. This time the pass does go to hand, though. Scotland handling that pressure very well. Another recycle. Crashing up with the forwards. Andrew Nemo. Nathan Chamberlain going on his own, looking for a gap. Rory with the recycle. The inside pop from the center finds its way back out.
Yeah,
26. That
was pretty rugby there. That was good stuff. Some interpassing, back and forth down that left flank. A well-worked try for Scotland.
It was Murray.
Just good timing of the pass, good support.
Yeah, Murray Scott and Grant Hughes making their presence felt. Here's the replay.
Here we go. The man Rory McMichael, left wing, starting it. Centered to a couple of the subs.
They had 2 players there that could have taken that pass in for a try.
Options
that's just
on either
good
side.
support.
Yep.
Lovely hands.
So again, a penalty at the breakdown, being the Achilles heel for Old Glory, and Scotland taking advantage of it and putting a try in maybe 2-3 minutes later. So it's something that they're going to have to take very, very seriously.
The penalty count must be massively in favour of the Scottish today.
And again, conversion is good.
Even the new kickers.
I was going to say different kicker, but
same result.
Same result. So, Roland, you talked there about it is the exhibition season, and you're absolutely right. I mean, this is a great opportunity for the organisation to iron out some kinks, to engage with the fans, to engender local support. That's what this is all about. Find your feet.
Find your feet, and also this is a very important game because I think you might see a few of these Scottish fellas be over here next year. There is that possibility, considering that the Scottish Rugby Union are now a member, an ownership stake in the club.
Here's a look at that kickoff from Stapleton. Goes deep, not taken cleanly by the 8, and dropped forward by Rory. I believe that's Rory's first mistake, the number 11, the danger man. It's his first mistake of the match.
Great position here.
So let's see what Old Glory elects to do.
Crouch. Fine.
New front row, plenty of new players.
Back to that point, potentially on players coming over, right? So MLR season runs February. It's going to start a wee bit later, February through June. Scottish season is September through May. So it would be the second half of the season. Perhaps they could release players to get a little bit of time, get some clock.
Yeah, I think it would help the Scottish Union too, just to get some of their players just extra reps.
Yeah, they had a similar arrangement with Nice, a French team. They've shipped a few boys over there just to get time. They've looked previously at buying Worcester in the Premiership. They've looked at financing London Scottish.
Josh Brown on the take on his own. Now a crash to Kunkel, dragging Scottish defenders forward. Reed with the recycle. Old Glory looking to make the most of this inside pop to Fletcher. Well-known name here in the Mid-Atlantic.
Even I've been tackled by Mike Fletcher.
Not that old, is he?
Oh, yeah,
39. As Old Glory continues to put pressure on Scotland, making the most of that knock-on from the kick. Can't let opportunities like this go to waste. And what is the call?
Time off. What's going on here?
I wonder if there's a head injury. Those are generally stopped. Looks like a leg.
Cramp.
Yeah, it was ripped out, but then when he was on the ground, he lost it forward.
Yes, sir. All right. Can you watch that take? They literally tackled me by my horse.
So you heard him say he ripped it out and knocked it forward. I'm not sure who rips the ball out and knocked it forward. Either way, we will see a scrum. So again, this is Old Glory's best opportunity of the second half. They need to connect these faces together, more so to prove it to themselves than to get this scoreline closer.
They've got to give this fantastic home crowd something to cheer about, something to go home with and talk about.
Yeah, they haven't had very many opportunities for the crowd to scream today, unfortunately, but hopefully we can get a few minutes here with maybe a score or two on the board before we go home.
I'd like to thank Iron Vine Security for being a sponsor of Old Glory DC, making the cyber world a much safer place. All right, and it will be a Scottish put-in as 23, Murray Scott, has the ball. Let's see if Old Glory can put some pressure on the scrum. We haven't seen them win one against the head. Another stoppage here as we have a sub coming on. In the back line for Scotland, fresh legs.
Time back on. Sorry, guys. Crouch.
So Old Glory
Bind.
having plenty of possession in Scotland's 22.
Set.
Unable to capitalize. And a free kick to Scotland. An early drive, looks like, from Old Glory. Completely new front row from the first half, just not being able to connect when it matters. But that
straight down the middle
does not go out, and it goes to the substitute.
It's Blake Carroll.
What can he do? Finds another substitute, cuts back inside from the sideline, finds a gap. Bede recycles.
I believe is that Dakota Worth again? Yeah.
Barelka on that take.
Barelka there.
Stapleton, an inside pop to Cool. Knocked on in the hit.
Yeah, that was a shocker from the Scottish player there. Shanked it right up the middle of the field. It's where you do not want to put the ball. It gives a receiving player the whole width of the park to work with. Kicks either should go out of play or they should be contestable.
Yeah, Blake Carroll, the Old Glory fullback there, he did very well with the timing. He was able to pick up that pass or that kick, and he was able to offload it there to set up another attack.
Again, you can pick up any of your Old Glory gear at worldrugbyshop.com. Visit worldrugbyshop.com to support your team, Old Glory DC, and you could fly like us.
Set.
Stapleton exiting the field. So almost all the subs are used at this point. Scotland attacking the far side, getting that second line runner in some space.
Looking wide.
Using the forwards to crash the ball forward.
Scottish wingers screaming for it.
Yeah, they're sucking in that Old Glory defense. Mike Fletcher creates the turnover. Josh Brown connects with Jolly. Jolly breaking down the field, gets the pass off, and it is knocked on by Kunkel. Calamitous. They finally had something going for them. A perfect attacking opportunity. I'm going to toss it down to Andrea to talk about the energy on the sideline.
Old Glory has just been relentless in this game, and the fight has not stopped. These subs have come in, and they've only raised the level of competition. Look, the fans, they're only getting more excited. This game is not over, guys.
Yeah, the crowd has been here till the end. We still have people in the tailgate section, a full stand. They've been cheering on Old Glory, and you really want them to put one in and bag one for this crowd. They've really earned it. And we've got some attention being shown to some Scotland players. It is late in the game. It's still somewhat humid, but not as hot as it was.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great location for the MLR League as a stop. You know, we have our New York, we have our Atlanta now. We've got the boys up in Canada doing their thing. Time for the nation's capital to do theirs.
Over here, guys.
So again, you can pick up tickets at oldglorydc.com for the next 2 exhibition matches next weekend. The boys are taking on USA Rugby South, and then the following week, June 9th, they're playing Ontario Blues, one of the better sides from club rugby in Canada.
Crouch.
And the South Panthers themselves have won the NACRA tournament. They've done some tours of Europe, played national teams over there. So neither of those upcoming matches will be easy. Scotland put in finally an Old Glory shove on the scrum, and they earn a penalty. It took to the 68th minute, but finally the Old Glory forward pack showing what they can do and winning that forward arm wrestling match that is the scrum.
That's the first penalty they've won in the 2 games that we've seen.
That is correct.
It's a great sign.
So the crowd over there cheering on Mike Fletcher.
That's the Mike Fletcher, cheer squad. Blake Carroll.
So that is Blake Carroll. He's still wearing 15. So he is fullback, but he is not Nick Cool. We can tell you that. So here's a replay of Old Glory. The ball back at Scotland's feet, but Old Glory just putting the shove on.
Yep, Blake Carroll, Salisbury Shark, and Baltimore Chesapeake player.
We'll go with only a 5-man line out. Right off the top to Reed. Spins it out to Kunkel. Pops it to Josh Brown. Oof. Brown makes 2 men miss, 3 men miss, 4 men miss. Bad Josh Brown. That's why they wrote a song about him. Now that looks like Mike Fletcher. The fight is not done from Old Glory. Now switching attack.
Back.
Ball goes through the hands, but it did go backwards.
It's Dakota Worth again, I believe.
Dakota Worth making some ground.
He's got to release that. Should have got pinged there.
The ref not making that call. And the sub, number 20, I believe that's Ryan Smith. If that is correct, he's the former Green Bay Packer. He's happy to be there on the field. He actually played rugby and football in high school.
Ball's out.
Ball's out. Kunkel crashing the ball forward, getting ever closer to that try line. Reed again, popping to Khalid Williams, who's still on the field, driving high tackle around the neck. That is also missed, and he's over the line.
2 movements.
2 movements. So he missed the high tackle, but we're calling the double movement there. So unfortunate for Old Glory. They had all the momentum, earned the penalty in the scrum, attacked for several phases, and unable to come away. What does that do for morale, Steve? I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's a bit of a crusher. That's a bit of a hard one to take. I'm not sure. I'd like to see another look at it. I'm not convinced it was a double movement.
Yeah, Roland, I thought he fell once and then put over the line.
It's definitely contestable. Was it a double movement? Was it a high tackle? Let's have a look.
We have the replay here.
Look here. So he's down. Yeah, the ball came down once just before the line, so it was like the 3rd movement. Yep.
So here it is.
Unfortunate, good strong effort, right?
Yeah.
He's fighting hard. He's trying to battle his way in there.
I feel like he was caught around the throat. So it's one of those things. Either the referee decided that
These
he removed his...
great camera angles we're getting here from Next Level Rugby. That is definitely
That's
a high tackle. Definitely a high tackle on that one.
Yeah.
That's thanks to the guys in the booth. They got to the bottom of the mystery. High tackle it is.
Again, it just goes down to bad luck, you know. We don't get that. Could have been a penalty to Old Glory. Instead, you have a line out now to the Scottish team.
Could have been a penalty try in the act of scoring.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Instead, we have another Scottish line out around their own 22. Old Glory not giving up. The push is on in this maul. They'll take it as far as they can until the ref tells them to use it. 23 just waiting back there. Murray Scott before the box kick.
That's a better box kick.
It's a good
Flying Hawaiian going for it. Taken by Reed. And he switches it across the field. Saved from the knock-on. And he's still loose.
I think that's Tavita.
Yeah, it looks like Tavita. He's wearing 13, but that is not Foro. Foro's out.
Yeah.
I believe that is Kunkel right there. And that was clean, apparently. Reed waiting to recycle. Out to Kunkel, stepping in at 10. I believe that is 18 Sam Morris on that drive. Ball is turned over again to Scotland, and we'll have a clearing kick.
Another
not
poor
fine
kick.
touch. Carroll taking it, looking for his gap. Doesn't find the support he needs. Throws it into the Scottish player's hands. That's Rory, the easiest interception he's had. Mike Fletcher blowing up that ruck, making things difficult on Scotland.
Game's getting loose, boys.
Yeah, it is getting loose in this last 7 minutes. Scotland attacking around midfield. The deep pass for another clearing kick. No one really home back there. What kind of bounce will they get? And they'll get a Scotland bounce as Carroll fakes the kick. And I believe is that Photo back on the field.
That's Kunkel.
Kunkel.
Kunkel coming through. Has no support. Gets taken down right next to the sideline. Kenna stepping in, driving it, avoiding the sideline again. Reed will now spin it out. Goes to Khaled, now to Josh Brown. Josh Brown bouncing off of defenders. Nobody wants to bring him down. Recycle from Reed. They have the numbers out here. Carroll steps it back inside. Where's his support?
Oh,
it's there. They're just in time.
That's Fletcher.
There's Fletcher.
He's giving it. He's got
Ball
it.
spits out. And it's cleaned up by Old Glory in the corner there. Now let's see. Knock on against Old Glory. Scotland ball again. So this is pretty indicative of the overall match. Old Glory has the opportunity. They have the attacking platform. And here it is.
Just getting a little too excited again.
Yeah, but it's been much, much brighter stuff
Yes.
from the home team here. They've had a good last 5 minutes. A great break up the right there from Kunkel. Couldn't quite connect with Malafuni's inside. Ball's going left. They punched again, and unfortunately, as you mentioned, Preston, they've just coughed it up. But they've been fighting. They're in this game.
Josh Brown has had more of an influence in the second half as well off the base. He's had a few really strong carries. Let's see if they can just punch one in here before this last 5 or 6 minutes is out.
The game has really opened up for Josh Brown in those running lanes as we have another Scottish player getting attention for cramps.
So it's, we're starting to see a sort of pattern of Scottish players receiving treatments for cramps. You know, obviously it's quite a bit warmer here than it is in Glasgow or Edinburgh. Scottish summer, of course, is the 23rd of August between 2 and 4 p.m. so they're struggling to deal with the heat even though they've been here a week.
All right, so Old Glory put on the push again. They earned a penalty last scrum. They're going for the drive, but Scotland gets it out and is able to find some space with their front runner. Clearing kick is here, and that will find touch. Or will it? No! It bounces off Old Glory's chest right into a Scottish player's hands. That was unfortunate. She couldn't quite find it as it goes to 26, out to Davidson, who's already got some tries to his name. Now to 27, who cannot be brought down by Malafu. Ollie Smith scores pretty close between the posts.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the kick unfortunately bounced off an Old Glory. It looked like a shoulder, actually. And a fortuitous bounce for 5 or 6 Scottish players. They moved the ball quickly to the left.
Good stuff,
and the substitute had enough to get past a despairing Malafu there.
Again, just broken play.
Yep.
You know, they were
But
able to execute.
But it's that ruthlessness.
Oh,
It's that
100%.
clinical finish. Opportunity, score.
Ready to pounce whenever the opportunity comes. And again, it looked like the wing overran the ball and had to come back for it.
And as you say, we've had a sustained period of Old Glory pressure. There's 6, 7, 8 minutes, which produced very little in the way of points. And once, 20 seconds down the other end of the field.
A very, very simple unforced error. He lost the ball in the lights. It came off either his shoulder or head, went right into the hands of a Scottish player, and they went from one side of the field to the other and score. Again, just clinical, as Steve says. And again, 100% with the kicks today.
Still 100% putting on a kicking clinic. 63-7 as we're getting into the last 4 minutes of the match. Scotland really taking it to Old Glory. We can't have many more restarts left in us as Carroll jogs up to center field. The crowd still loud and proud over there, not giving up, willing their team on, showing that their support is here. We have fireworks in the distance. I'm not sure they're for us, but we'll say they are.
Yay!
Yes.
There's an elementary error at the restart.
They go straight out?
If you want straight out,
Straight
comes
out.
back to the centre field, scrum to Scotland.
Exactly what you don't want. Middle of the field, all the options.
Again, the last scrum, Old Glory was putting the push on. Scotland able to hook it back quickly and recycle it. Let's see if they go for the same attempt here. Scottish backline split. Just got to look for 15. He'll find a way to get involved regardless.
Set.
As the ball is in. Solid scrum, great platform. Switching sides they are. And a chip through.
Oh.
And it is blocked. Can he keep it in? Kunkel
That's a knock, I
cannot. But still, great skill to block the kick. And the line out to Scotland.
Yeah, it was knocked on the touch, yeah.
Knocked on into touch, so they should have an option. And they'll wisely choose.
There's only one option there, Preston. Scrum it down.
Scrum it down. The safest option. Let's see how
Crouch.
deep Old Glory can search
Line.
inside themselves for the strength
Set.
for these final 2 minutes. We'll reset. Too much pressure there.
So decent game by the referee, Lex Weiner tonight. He'll be relatively happy. Nothing controversial.
Nope.
Hasn't made any glaring ones. I think he's had a good, solid game.
As far as the chippiness goes from last week, we've seen a lot more discipline from Old Glory this time.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
If you're playing good, fast opponents, you need to play rugby.
You
can't
don't have
evolve.
time for the
You
chip.
don't have
Shoots
time
out.
time for the nonsense.
Great cover tackle by Reed. Scotland finding a gap, looking for the offloading contact. They find Davidson. Trying to bring him down by the jersey. Finally gobbles him up. Penalty for something. We have advantage. Scotland attacking on that weak side. A searching kick, blocked again. So let's listen in here and see what that was.
Oh, it's kicking off.
And we finally have some chippiness creeping into the match.
Finally a hockey moment.
Just a bit of handbags again. I think so. The ball was kicked at a player, and
Looks like nothing, not even handbags, just some jersey grabbing.
Yeah.
Just exchanging stories.
You know, the Scottish boys, they don't want to get into it either, let's be honest.
no.
They just got to stand up for themselves. Same with the Old Glory fellas, so it's all good.
Maybe the players are just mad they can't go to the pub after. Drinking age is a little too high for them.
If they wanted, I'm sure they'd find a way.
So he's having a word with his assistant referee on the far side.
But a high tackle.
Bringing the Scottish skipper in, it looks like. There's potentially was a penalty to Scotland there before that fracas kicked off. Perhaps it's being reversed. Talking to Captain Connor Boyle.
Anything afterwards? Just have a high tackle there. Gonna go to it. Fair enough. That's it. Thank you. Get it? Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So the ball is still with Scotland.
High tackle.
High tackle. I didn't see it, but it probably happened. And it cannot end on a penalty, so they will get a line out after kicking it down, even though we are over the 80-minute mark. We should be creeping up on the last play. Both teams looking to end on a high note. They go quickly. 20 takes it, brings it down cleanly. Ross Bundy. Nice clean drive
Going
here.
backwards, use it.
Being told to use it. The hooker is brought down by Josh Brown.
Oh.
And there is a gap by Davidson, and he shoots through the Old Glory defense. Old Glory looking around.
Gosh, he's had a good game.
For who was supposed to have that gap. Yeah, he's definitely one of the, he has his hand up for man of the match, and here's the replay. As he finds the perfect running line, runs right between
two forwards.
Two forwards, yes.
Yeah, he's had a good game, Matt Davidson, affiliated with the famous London Scottish club, but he picked his line well there, tiring defence and applying the coup de grace right under the posts. A relatively simple conversion to follow, one would imagine.
It's probably time, I would think, as well.
Yep, time, and they will have their A+ mark on conversions, 100%. So final score after over 80 minutes of rugby, it is 70-7. The U20 Scottish national team over Old Glory DC. And we will go to a quick break.
Working at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and this area called Ginza, so which is center of Tokyo.
Welcome back to Cardinal Stadium at Catholic University. Final score here, 70 to Scotland, Old Glory 7. Steve, I'll start with you. What did you see from Scotland that made them so deadly in this match?
Yeah, well, you can see this as a group has been together for the past week, actually probably longer than that, preparing for the World Rugby Under-20 Championships in Argentina. These guys are pretty much in full-time environments, good strength and conditioning, good nutrition, good rugby IQ, and they just performed. They were technically competent. That's pretty much it, as expected.
So Roland, same question, but for Old Glory.
I think we're just starting to see what real professionalism is like. Playing at the very top level, you make a mistake, you get punished. So you have to try to eliminate those mistakes from your game. I think that they're going to be particularly disappointed with the penalty count today. The breakdown work just needs to be cleaned up. They need to do a better job there. They had many, many minutes, I think, Steve, you'll agree, where they were able to hold the ball, recycle the ball, get through the phases. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to continue that attacking, have more creativity in attack. And I think when they solve those issues, we'll see a much more refined and better style of game, much more effective.
And this is arguably the best side that Old Glory DC is going to face this entire exhibition season. Like you mentioned, full-time training environment. These kids are basically professional. The most difficult game they'll play. Next weekend they're playing US Rugby South. The following weekend, the Ontario Blues. All here at Cardinal Stadium. For this Memorial Day weekend, we just want to thank everyone who's served in our military, as we remember those who have given their lives, so we can come out here and enjoy the spectacle. I'm Preston Thompson with Steve Lewis and Roland Pratt. Thank you for joining us on Next Level Rugby.
What these guys have done for us, for our country, is something that could never be paid back, something that us as civilians could only appreciate and respect.
I mean, there's some hard stories in there, so they're all great guys. You wish they were still here today with you, but you understand, duty calls, they served a mission, and there's tragedy and everything, and a lot of them died in war, others died when they came back home, and a lot of suffering and pain involved, but you try to bring the good out in every situation, and this is our way of doing it.
My dad loved rugby, played it in college and played it in the Marine Corps.
Rugby was a big part of his life, it was a big thing that he enjoyed. It was a way to bond with others and to kind of release stress when he was in the Marine Corps. And John unfortunately died by suicide in 2005. Returned from a deployment in Iraq and really was struggling with depression and post-traumatic stress and didn't get the help he needed and died, 3 months after he returned.
He did get to play. We were supposed to play. First Marine killed in Afghanistan, and sometimes I wonder if it was my fault. I know I gotta be better. And I've been in the slump. I've had some hard times, and my daughter passed away 3 years ago, and it just all steamrolled. And then I finally got back around rugby again, and I got in touch with these guys, and I knew at that moment I had to, because I gotta fix myself for him and for her.
So, it's been 11 years since his death, and one of the things that I've really tried to do is to find things that my boys would be a part of that connected them to their dad.
Well, I'm just honored to play with these Marines and really just try to live live like my dad would want me to, and I think he would just be he would love to see me out here, and I wish he was out here with us. I know if he knew about this after he retired or got out or had the time, I know he would be right up here with us. So just trying to carry on the legacy, and I love playing rugby too. So, but play with these guys and kind of just play for my dad, play for all these other fallen Marine rugby players.
The importance of veterans and supporting them. I mean, they say freedom's not free, so it comes with a cost, an expensive one. So we hope that America likes what we're doing for them. Just want everybody to care as much as we do.